Okay, hi guys, Kian here, and I finally have some good news to share about Shenmue. For all the time it's taken me, we finally have seen some small amount of progress. So, right now there's two kind of huge elephants in the room, and those are one, the values is, the values that we're reading from the animation, how confident are we in the values, and that's kind of it's just kind of a whole, it's kind of a time sink in terms of testing and looking back at things, and so we're just going to ignore this elephant right now. We can come back to it, and because for things like the values, like the right foot, there's only values from here to here. For the right hand, there's only a target here. For the left hand, there's only a target. There's only one value out of all the 37 frames that exist. And so, the idea is one, how confident are we in these values? The second elephant in the room is interpolation. Right now, I'm just using linear interpolation, so all of the text that is in bold, these are values are specifically defined by the game's data. But if you hover over some of them, what I've done is I've added a little tooltip that gives you the slope. So the game defines some kind of spleen interpolation. That's going to be a curve. It's going to be a curve that defines how the game is going to interpolate the values, and that's going to add some variation. It's going to make the animations a little bit smoother and make them a little bit better. But right now, we're going to go ahead and ignore that elephant too, in terms of just using linear interpolation to fill in the values in between, and that's what these non-bold values are values that I've gone ahead and stuck in there. So one thing I've also done and cheated is this minus 0.14. This value doesn't exist. And if we go on the left with target, these values don't exist either, and neither does this value exist. So what I wanted to do was I just wanted to fill in, just have for the right foot and the left foot target, just fill in all the values, and let's just test with the right and left leg under ideal conditions that we can force to be ideal conditions. So what I've done is just forcibly filled those in, and what that allows us to do is that allows us to view the model at any frame, because I've gone ahead and written in the targets inside the previewer. Now, what happened before is after around frame 30, if we go back over to the table, we can take another look. I think it was either right or left foot target, yeah, left foot target Y. Around 31, 32, 33, 34, 35, 36. After this frame, 31, 32, this left foot target would just disappear because there are no values to insert for it. So the game would get a null position, or the previewer would just get a null position. This target would disappear, and we wouldn't be able to calculate where this foot was supposed to be. But we can kind of just flub in some values and just, okay, they're coming back, and look at the general trajectory and just kind of fill in values based on that. So we've gone ahead and just flubbed those values. So now that we've flubbed those values, we can do something kind of interesting in terms of testing what, in terms of testing how we want to handle these animations. So there's a ghost of Rio floating above Rio. I'll come back to that in a second. For right now, what I'm just going to do is I'm going to export this animation. Okay, so what just happened here is you saw it kind of jump back to the end and then kind of jump forward. That's just because the animation speed didn't keep up. So what this program actually did was it started at frame 0 and it went through each frame one at a time, and I just have a small delay in between each frame, and it goes through all the frames. It calculates where the knees and the thighs should be based on the targets, and then it saves those rotations. So it saves those rotations and then it writes them to a file. So what we have here is a rio.dmf file. And we can go back into this previewer, drop it in here, and we have Rio. So right now I'm just using a normal uh, a material to preview the normals because I actually had there's an issue somewhere in there with the UVs or the faces or something, because the geometry is importing correctly but the textures weren't showing correctly. So there's something I need to debug about that. But I just figured that right now I don't want to worry too much about the textures as long as the animation works, or the animation, the rigging, and the skeleton works. So if we go down here, the program automatically detects, our previewer automatically detects that there is an animation, and boom, Rio is walking. Okay, so what's going on here is basically what I just explained before. Is we go through this previewer. We solve for where the foot is at for every frame. We save that as a rotation, each rotation for the knee and the thigh bone, and then we save that to our normal FK animation, and then we write that FK animation into a file. So this is the FK animation. We've converted the IK animation into an FK animation. We can take that file and then we can just play the FK animation as it is. So the kind of good news, bad news about this is originally I was going to try and do this with GLTF. I thought that making my own animation or my own file format was kind of excessive. GLTF is the future. Maybe I should just embrace GLTF. But I exported this model as GLTF, tried to load it to Blender. It broke, so there is that. The advantages of being able to support your own file format is just a huge advantage. So Rio here still looks really stiff. He's still really clumsy. His arms aren't moving. We don't have the bounce the small bounce on the y-axis that makes the walk animation look more more natural. We don't have the foot planting where the feet are always parallel to the ground. We don't have the torso IK. There's a lot of things in here that aren't working yet, but I just wanted to skip ahead, ignore all the elephants in the room, and then just get to exporting the animations as do the proof of concept, export the IK animations, convert them into an IK animation, play the FK animation, see if it works, and so far it does seem to work, at least as far as a proof of concept. So now that we've kind of gotten a chance, we kind of see the end here. Now that we have a chance to see what the end result or a potential exported animation looks like. The idea is now we just need to go back through here and clean everything up and start refining everything. So we can do the arms, we can do the torso, we can do the bounce, and then we can fix the textures, and then we can figure out the animation values, and then we can figure out the interpolation, and probably in that order. So that's just what we're going to do next. And so this was pretty a pretty happy proof of concept that this actually worked. Before I was originally hoping to just be able to throw the values in some IK solver and have it do everything. That doesn't give us quite enough control for the IK animations in terms of Shenmue. And so I guess as tempting as that would be, I guess that's out the window right now. Although Shenmue just seems to be using a general off-the-shelf CCD solver, so I don't think we need to do anything super complicated for that. But for minor things, it does have benefits to be able to fine-tune and do everything. So the last thing is I kind of skipped over this ghost of Rio that's floating above him. So what's going on here is in order to get IK animation working is I had to remove all the pre-rotations from the bones. Pre-rotations is a pretty weird concept. Basically, when the game loads in Rio's skeleton has rotation values built into the bones initially. So rather than just translating things, just translating where different parts of the body are with just position values, it'll rotate and translate to put the bones in the correct position, which means that the thigh is already rotated, the knee is already rotated, and you have to deal with a chain of rotations as they go up each bone, and that's just kind of hard for the IK solver to manage. So what I've done is in the visible model below Ryo, he just has no rotations, only translation, so that there's no initial rotation on his bones. And then in the model above him, I have the rotated bones as the original MT5 model defines. So the idea is, if we do need to go back and fine tune and apply stuff and apply rotations or solve for rotations on the original model, we can go ahead and do that. Or if we need to have a preview of exactly what the final result will be, what the calculated result will be, we can go ahead and do that. So that's just kind of the difference between the visible and Ghost Ryo. Is the Ghost Ryo is there in case we need to do more fine tuning or calculating or previewing calculations based on rotations. Right now, he's just kind of in the background, not needed until one day he could potentially be needed. So that's it for this video. I'm gonna go ahead and sign out. My daughter was kind of running around like crazy in the background. Hopefully that wasn't too distracting. Yeah, whatever. That's it for this video. I'm just going to go ahead and start working on the arms, put in the values that we need for that, just to have some proof of concept placeholders. Just kind of work more on refining more and more of the exports, and then going back and filling in anything that we've just kind of skipped on, or skimped over, passed over, ignored, or flubbed. So that's it for this video, and I guess I will see you next time.